Hey, 8th grade, happy Monday. Shout out to Darren Mingo for his second place in the race on Saturday. He did a great job. Today in science, we're going to talk about colors. And our few questions that we're going to talk about are how do invisibility cloaks work? Why is the sky blue? And why do colors exist? And hopefully we'll be able to answer these through the use of the knowledge after this video. So different colors have different wavelengths. The other day, we talked about the electromagnetic spectrum and how the wavelengths change. Well, within the visible light area, there's multiple different wavelengths for different colors. And you can see them kind of listed over here near the colors. Each color has its own wavelength. So the light you see is what's reflected from an opaque object. We're going to talk more about that word opaque. But what this means is that red objects absorb everything but red light. So then they reflect the red light back, and that is what you see. So like this apple, for instance, you have light coming in, visible light. All of these colors are absorbed except the red, which is reflected back for you to be able to see. The same here, this red shirt reflects only the red, and the blue only the blue. The color of a transparent object is the color of light it transmits. So you'll notice on an opaque surface, or a white surface, we'll be able to reflect all of the colors. On a black surface, all of the colors are absorbed. And if you notice on a transparent object, all the light is able to transmit through it. So black objects absorb all colors of light. So once light hits it, you do not see any color of light coming back. White objects, on the other hand, reflect all colors. So you'll see all colors bouncing back. So if you have white light coming in and you have a white surface, you have white light then coming back out. So black objects absorb, white objects reflect. A reflection is when a wave strikes an object and bounces off of it. And the law of reflection says that the light reflects off an object at the same angle at which the light hits it. So if this were to come in at 45 degrees, it would reflect back out at 45 degrees, saying that these two angles right here are the same. So an example of this would be when light bounces off a mirror, when bats use echolocation, or tinted windows on a car. Refraction is actually the bending of the wave caused by the change in its speed as it moves from one medium to another. And the mediums we're talking about here are solid, liquid, and gas. So here we see that the light is refracted as it moves through this prism. When you look into water, you have the real position of the fish and where the fish looks like it is because of the way that the light refracted or the waves bend when you're looking in. If an object is opaque, the light will reflect because the light cannot pass through it. It's a solid object. So for instance, an apple cannot have light passing through because it's a solid object. And another example of this would be a mirror. If an object is transparent, the light will refract because light can pass through the object. So an example of this would be water or a prism. So you'll notice a bit of a distorted view as things are refracted or light is refracted when it comes through. So transparent is something that you can see through fully, translucent would be partially, and opaque would be fully blocked. So you'll notice the differing amounts of lights that are able to penetrate through these surfaces. So light travels faster in air than in water. Water is more dense than air, and the same goes for glass or any other medium that's more dense than air, which is one of the reasons that the light will then refract when it hits a more dense medium. Because of the difference in speed, refraction causes underwater objects to appear closer to the surface than they really are. So today we kind of touched on a few things, including reflection, refraction, transparent and opaque, and then ideas about the light being absorbed or reflected based on the type of surface. You're going to move on to your practice problems for today. And then again onto your challenge page and your exit ticket. Once you've completed that, you should be on Quizlet practicing your vocab.